Hello designers, this is me Azad and it is day one of Beginners to Pro series in AutoCAD. Today we are going to discuss about the introduction of the AutoCAD. Okay, so the version which I'm using currently is 2026. Okay, so it's recently got launched. Okay, so here we are just going to go through some the introduction or the basics. Okay, so we'll start from the basic and we'll into till the pro. Okay, and this is the day one of that series. Okay, so this is basically the menu bar, and here we do have the ribbon bar where all the commands will be there. And this is how the GUI of the software looks like. Okay, which is basically abbreviated as a graphical user interface. Okay, so here we can exist like we can open the existing files, and if you want to create a new file, you can start from here. And what all the files you already did did or the created will be shown over here. Okay. So the template, okay, so will be we used. Okay, so in the AutoCAD, you need to browse for it first, and here you can see the ACAD ISO is the one, okay, which usually will be used. Okay, so whenever it comes to AutoCAD, okay, so the very important thing over here would be about the planes. Okay, so we don't have the planes how we have in the other softwares like SolidWorks and the CATIA. Here, basically, UCS will work, which is called as user coordinate system. Okay. So here, yeah, I was talking about the planes. Okay, so as we don't have the plane, it is just like an infinite sheet. Okay, so due to which we need to set the units and the limits. Okay, and anything in the AutoCAD you want to do, or else you want to get the command. Okay, basically you need to type it. Okay, you can type it and you can get it. Okay, so that is how it is in the AutoCAD basically. Okay, so as I was talking about the setting the units and the limits, you can just access it by typing it basically. Okay, suppose I want the units, I'll just type it. I'll press the enter. You can see here. There are a lot of things are there. Okay, so in the type you are going to set whether it is a decimal, architectural, engineering, anything. Okay, so as a mechanical, I will set it as a decimals only. Okay, and as mechanical, we'll be setting the units as the millimeter basically. And here you can go through like a lot of units are there. If you're working in inches or the meter, you can change. Otherwise, in maximum cases, it will be millimeters only. Okay. So here, as we are taking our unit as a millimeter, usually we'll keep the precision as a 0.00 only. Okay, and you need to change that precision to 00 basically. Okay, and the standard will be international and the American standard. These two standards are available readily. Okay, and regarding the angle, you can see it from here. Okay, and you just need to click OK, and now our units are set. Okay, and the limits, the next thing will be the limits basically. Okay, so limits is basically the paper size. Okay, so and maximum used paper size will be your A3. Okay, for which the size will be 420 horizontally and 297 vertically basically for a landscape. Okay, so how to set the limits? Just press 0 and comma 0. Okay, so which will be your origin basically. Okay, so 0 comma 0 also you can type, otherwise you can type 0 tab 0. Okay, so both the things it is acceptable. Once you press the enter, then you have to give the upper right corner. Okay, so basically which will be the sheet size. Okay, and the sheet size as of now I told. Okay, so which is A3. Okay, so which will be of 420 tab 297 basically. Okay, so then press the enter. Okay, so now the unit got set. Once you set the unit, okay, so to make the screen as a normal too. Okay, so why? Because suppose if you are drawing a line, okay, so now you can see the unit of that it is going somewhere 2751. Okay, so which is more actually, right? So due to which what you have to do whenever you give the limit, you have to press Z enter, A enter. Okay, so what that Z enter, A enter means? Okay, so Z means zoom, A means all. Okay, so which is basically will focus on the sheet. Okay, so now you can see the sizes. Before it was showing some 2000 near values, but now it will be normalized to 195, like something like that. Okay, so which is nearby. Okay, so because our work will be well within this only. If it is more, then still okay, you can go here. Okay, but the thing is, in the AutoCAD, it is about the like here the dimensions will be driven dimension. Okay, so there are two things. One is driven dimension and one is driving dimension. Driven dimension means you can't change the value. Okay, so once you create a line, okay, suppose I created a line of 200. Okay, so now the value of that is fixed. Okay, if I wanted to change it, change the value of this, the maximum I can do the stretch or else the scale. Okay, so but what is the problem in the stretch and the scale means? Okay, so if it is a complex model, again you can't do. Okay, so there will be a lot of complexities will be there. Okay, so are the constraints also. Okay, so due to which you can't be able to change the dimension. That's why in the AutoCAD, whenever you draw, okay, so you will draw it while giving the dimensions also. Okay, So that is about the basic thing. Then, as I told, okay, so this was the menu bar. Okay, so and this is the quick menu bar basically where you can start a new, open, save as, those options. Okay, and then in this ribbon bar, you are having your all the commands, dot tools, modification tools, annotations. Layers is all about the see. AutoCAD is all about lines and the curves. Okay, that line, how is the type, how is the color of it? Okay, so all those things we are going to say see in the layers and the properties. Okay, and the same thing will goes for here also. Okay, and then the blocks and the attributes and the groups, utilities, all those things are there, which we'll see in the upcoming classes basically. Okay, so here, whenever it is come to any of the CAD software, it is all about the navigation thing. Okay, so navigation is basically you are moving, panning, and rotating. Okay, so how to do these things, you should know. Okay, so when you go for any of the software. Okay, so here you can see with the mouse buttons, okay, so we can be able to do these things. Okay, so and with the other, like basically a lot of options are there, like some two, three options are there which we can navigate the things. Okay, so first I'll tell you about the mouse things. Okay, so with the help of your mouse, okay, so if you are pressing the middle mouse button, okay, so which is called as scroll bar also. Okay, so if you press that button and if you are moving, it is the pan. Okay, or else move or pan is same. Okay, so then if you wanted to zoom in, zoom out, the same like scroll bar, you can move forward and backward. Forward for the zoom in, backward for the zoom out, basically. Okay. In the same way, if you wanted to rotate, okay, so you have to press your middle mouse button and your shift button together to like rotate it, basically. Okay, so here you can see. Okay, so the sheet it is going to rotate, something like this. Okay. And now I wanted to make it normal to my screen. Okay, so here this is called as a view orientation bar or view cube, basically. Okay, so where you can just click on this top. Okay, now you can see it made as a normal to your screen basically. Okay, and but the thing is it got rotated. Still you can just rotate from here 90 degrees. Okay, yeah. So that is all the thing. Okay, so if I draw something and if I want to show, see this is the like some draw like some random drawing I drawn. Okay, so you can see for moving, move forward from the scroll bar, move backward for the zoom out. Okay, and the same scroll button. If I press and hold it and if I'm moving, it will be pan. Okay. If I'm holding that button along with the shift, okay, so it will be going to rotate like this. Okay. So this is what the about the navigation thing. Okay. And then here you can see the start. Okay. So it will go through the GUI, which we came before, like the first one. Okay. And then the drawing one, drawing two, likewise, whenever you increase, okay, so it will be going to change. Okay. And here two things will be there. Okay. So one is your model, and then it is about the layout. Okay, so to this layout will come later. Okay, so that unit you set, right? So the limit which you set before, okay, which was 420 by 297, which will be considered over here basically. Okay, yeah. So that is what the thing. And before we'll just draw. Okay, so we'll do everything over in the model bar. Okay, and then we'll go for the at last for plotting or the taking it as a PDF. We'll go for the layout basically. Okay. So yeah, that is the thing. Yeah. So then about these things. Okay. So I want to focus. Okay. So these things can be accessed from here as well as you can use the functional keys also for this. Each and every functional key will be holding some or the other commands from this like this bar basically. Okay. And this is the command bar. Okay. So where what all the command you'll be typing will be coming over there. You can see. If I am pressing the line. Okay. So enter. You can see about the line. Line specify first point. Likewise it will be showing you the command to use how to use the things and all. Okay, so likewise. Okay, and as I told, whatever you want as a command, you can get it by typing it basically. Okay, so that is also one thing. Okay, so in this thing, okay, so the first and foremost thing is about your grid. Okay, so if you want the background grid or not, okay, you can be able to see here. Okay, so each and every grid, the small boxes will be of 10 by 10. The bigger box will be by of 50 by 50. I am talking about in terms of only. Okay, yeah, so if you wanted to turn it on and off, you can be able to see here it is possible from this. Okay, and you can access it from the functional keys also. In the description box, I will be just giving you the link. Okay, so which function is key is for what? Okay, yeah, so this is your grid. Okay, so the next thing it is the snap. Okay, so what do you mean by snap? Okay, so you can see here the small boxes are there, and each and every box, okay, at the corner you have the points basically. Okay, suppose if I'm starting from the line, I can start as of now. You can see I can start anywhere I wanted. Okay, but if I just start, okay, if I just turn on this snap, okay, now you can see I can be able to access only from the points basically. Okay, so if I wanted to access from the center, it is not possible. Okay, so that is what the snap means. Okay, but usually will not use this one frequently. Okay, or else you will not use that much. Okay, And then this is about the dynamic input, okay, so which is very important, which should be always turned on. Okay, so then what is this dynamic input means? Okay, so if I just turn it on, you can see whatever you type, right? Whatever you type, it is showing in the screen, right? Insert, ID, whatever related to your type. Okay, so whatever the word or the letters you are going to add, related to that, what all the commands are there, it will be going to show. Okay, so this is called as your dynamic input basically. Okay, otherwise, if you have like whenever you're drawing a line, okay, so here you can see the line dimension as well as the line degree also it is showing, right? So those things also will be not visible if you turn off the dynamic input basically. Now you can see, I'll just turn it off, and if I show you, you can see those dynamic inputs are not available. Okay, so that is the thing, that is the dynamic input basically. Okay, and then you do have this is called as ortho mode. Okay, so which is very important. Okay, suppose if I want to draw a line, okay, so I want to draw the line like horizontally or vertically. Okay, I'll be using the ortho mode. Ortho mode is the command which force you to draw the line only at an angle of 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360. Okay, so in this particular dimension only, in angle only, you can be able to draw the line. Okay, so that is what the ortho mode is. Okay, and in major cases we'll be turning it on, and some of the cases will be not. Okay, so if you can see, my cursor is moving somewhere, but still my line it is at a horizontal only. Okay, but if I just turn that off, you can see I if I want it at any angle, I can be able to draw. Okay, so that is what is ortho mode is for. Okay, and then it is a polar mode. Okay, so polar mode is the one which will give you, or else which will guide you to the particular angle which you set. Okay, so if ortho mode is turned on, this will be turned off automatically. If this is turned on, that will be turned off automatically. Why? Because this will force you to draw in particular angle, the ortho mode. Okay. But when it comes to the polar tracking, it will give you the guide. Okay. So at what angle you should be. Okay. So at what angle you want it to be. Suppose you can just drop down here. You can see 90 degrees, and the whatever the degree it is there at the first. Okay. So the next will be the multiply of that basically. Okay. So you can see here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It will go like that. Okay. So in the same way, the other angles also. Okay. So as of now, it is set as a 30, and for every angle, the 0 will be the base point. Okay, so for any angle, you can access from the 0, obviously, and then it will go for 30, 60 likewise. Okay, now you can see before what was happening if I'm tracking the like ortho mode, I used to get only at a particular angle. It was forcing me to do in a particular angle. Okay, so but this polar mode is not like that. Okay, so you can see the green color line. Okay, so that is the reference which will tell you you are drawing according to your polar. Okay, what you selected. Okay, so as of now, this is the 0. As I told you, start from the 0. Okay, so then you can see for the 30 also it will show. You can see here. Okay, so let me turn off the your dynamic mode. Okay, so now you can see. Okay, so dynamic input basically. Okay, so now you can see at the 30 degree. Okay, so it is showing me the reference. Okay, in the same way for the 60 also it will show. Okay, so likewise for the 90. Okay, 30, 60, 90. Likewise for the multiply of the 30, it will show me the reference. Okay, so that is what is the polar tracking basically. Okay, and then it is about your object snap and the object snap tracking, which is very very important. Okay, so whenever you open, okay, so the software, or else whenever you're working with AutoCAD, you have to just drop down here, and you have to make sure everything is turned on. Okay, so by default, if you are opening, very few things will be turned on. Okay, so rest everything you need to turn it on manually basically. Okay, so and everything you should make sure it is turned on. Okay, and for each and everything it is different. Okay, so I'll just show you. Okay, so I just created one rectangle. Okay, so in this, if I wanted to get the midpoint of it, you can see it is showing me midpoint. Okay, if I wanted to get the edge point, end point basically, you can see it is showing me the end point. Okay, so this is called as geometric center. Okay, so as of now, it is a polygon basically. Okay, so polygon is the one. Okay, so which is having the number of side. Okay, and for all the polygon, we'll be having a geometric center. Okay, yeah. So that is what the thing is. Okay, so if it is just a circle, okay, if I just draw a circle, okay, so in that if I'm snapping, okay, so this is called as the center. Okay, so this is just a center, and this is geometric center. Okay, so geometric center when it comes, when you are having a continuous line. Okay, and for that it will come at the middle, which is called as geometric center. If it is a circle, it is just a center. Okay, yeah, so that is the thing. Okay, if I just turn this off, okay, if I turn off this snap, object snap, we call it as. Okay, so now you can say I can't be able to access those point. Okay, so maybe your end point, maybe your midpoint, any point if you want to access, you can't be able to. Okay, so that is what is the work of your object snap basically. Okay, then what do you mean by tracking? Okay, so the object snap. Okay, so once you place a cursor, you need not to press. Okay, you just need to place a cursor on it. You will be getting that point. Okay, you can see it is highlighting in a green color. Once you zoom in or zoom out, it will go. Okay, so you can see I kept a point over there. It is highlighting as a plus icon in a green color. Okay, So if I am going in line of that, okay, you can see if I'm going in line of that, it will be showing me the green color line. Okay, so that is what is your object snap tracking basically. Okay, so the object snap means keeping a point on it, Okay, so the line which you are getting as a reference is called as your object snap tracking basically. Okay, you can see the object like snap. We can give total sorry, 7 points basically. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 4, 5. Okay, so 6 and 7. Okay, so I kept the 7 points. Okay, so if I press the eighth point, you can see the first point will go. Okay, so in the same way, if I go for the ninth, you can see the second point will go. Likewise, only 8 different points you can be able to snap, but still that will be good enough, because usually we'll take maximum like some two references. Suppose how I am talking about the reference means, suppose I wanted to draw a line. Okay, so which is having the center from here as well as from here. Okay, so that time I'll be keeping a center over here as well as here, and you can see at the intersection I'll be getting a point like this. Okay, and at the intersection, suppose I wanted to draw one circle basically. Okay, so from this and from this, okay, at the center I wanted a circle. You can see something like this will be using your object snap tracking basically. Okay, yeah, so this is the thing about the object snap and object snap tracking, which is very important. Okay, if you drop down, as I told, everything has to be turned on. Okay, yeah, so then this is about the line weight and the transparency. Okay, suppose if any of the line, okay, I'll just select it and I change the like thickness of that. Okay, so it will be basically from here. As of now, you can see I set that this particular line as a 2.1. Okay, so but it is set it, but it is not visible. Okay, but if you wanted to make it visible, you need to turn on this basically. Okay, now you can see the thickness of that will be visible to you. Okay, so this is how you can change it. Okay, and then about the transparency. Okay, so it will be basically like this. Okay, so suppose I'll turn it on and I'll change the transparency of the same line. Okay, so here the transparency is there. Okay, what is these things and all we'll see in the later classes. Okay, so here I just change the transparency. Okay, now you can see if it is visible. Now it is visible as of now. Okay, so but if I turn this off, you can see it will be not visible. Okay, it will be a solid line, a solid color. Okay, if I just turn that on, then only that visibility will come. Okay, yeah, that is what is which is your transparency basically. Okay, so these are the some of the things. Okay, so which is very important while drawing the things. Okay, and one more thing is here. Okay, so this workbench switching. Okay, so basically in the sorry, in the AutoCAD we have two workbenches, which is drafting and annotation and 3D modeling. Okay, so in the 3D modeling you will be having all the things which is there in the 3D basics also. Okay, so in the detail we'll see it in the later classes. Okay, so but the coming to any of the software. Okay, so if you go for any of the software, the first and foremost thing you should know is the workbenches available in that particular software basically. Okay, and in this AutoCAD we have two workbenches which we will use. Okay, yeah, so that is the thing. The drafting and the annotation is the one, and then the 3D modeling. Okay, so drafting and annotation means basically the drawing whatever we want. Okay, basically all of your orthographic view and in the isometric view, all those things are your drafting basically. The annotation means basically the information about that. Okay, so what all the dimension it does have. Okay, so how much is the surface finish, the GDNT symbols, all those things. What all the content or the information about the drawing you are giving, it's the annotation basically. Okay, so coming to the 3D modeling, like the part or the product what you create. Okay, so that is the 3D modeling basically. Okay, so to those things will come to later. Okay, so yeah, this was the like a small introduction about the software. Okay, so which is your AutoCAD. Okay, so hope you understood all the things which we covered. Okay, so if you don't get any of the thing, let me know in the comment box. And that's it for the today. Thank you so much for the watching the video.